Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today, yes, we are back with another brand new video. A brand new video that comes to us as a Rangers side that looks completely out of ideas and completely off the boil. And as fate would have it, the team that we face tomorrow have recently made us, no matter how well we've been playing up to the point whenever these games come around, this team has made us look completely off the boil and completely void of ideas. It's ironic, as Palpatine once said. So people, something has to give. There needs to be a break in the chain of what has been Rangers versus Aberdeen, as it is sort of feeling like a last chance saloon for the Rangers manager, which again we'll go into more detail in the Rangers side of today's video. It's going to be very, very interesting 24 hours if you are a Rangers fan. But before we do divulge into Rangers news and Rangers talking points, because there is quite a lot to actually discuss, as always, we will start the videos off the way we always do, and that is by starting with the oppositional preview, by kicking the tyres and having a look at tomorrow's dance partner, which is, of course, Aberdeen Football Club, who at my current time of recording are sitting third in the old spfl. And it's interesting, ladies and gentlemen, to just say that and do these little finger weird movements. It's really weird now that I've said that. I don't know why I've been doing that. But anyway, carrying on, people. What I was saying there is 3 of our last 5 domestic matches, has been against side that's sitting third in the old SPFL. The only breakers being Motherwell and, of course, our most recent game, which was Livingston. So go figure on that one, people. We've actually performed against teams that sit in third: Hearts, St Mirren. Hopefully that run continues tomorrow. Am I feeling confident right now? Not really, but we'll carry on with the Aberdeen side of the preview, because Aberdeen come in this game in a sort of a weird place, because despite sitting in third, are they the third best team in the league? I wouldn't really say so right now, ladies and gentlemen, as of course they share that position right now with St Mirren, but they're just edging them on goal difference. Because I look at this Aberdeen side as still a side that for me is in transition under the new manager. They're certainly getting some good results and they're having some bright spells, but you can see it, and you can see the slaps coming, you can see the disappointing defeats for me, which again is still a part of the journey under Jim Goodwin as they try and find that consistency which was there for so long under Derek McInnes. Because you look at them, when Aberdeen are good, they are very, very good. Scalping Livingston 5-0, beating the likes of Hearts 2-0. They've got it in them to be a very, very good side, but on equal side of the coin, people. Is that the right turn of phrase? I don't know. We'll carry on. I honestly, the Rangers team's numb in my mind. I don't even think I'm making sense anymore. But on the flip side of the coin, that sounds a little bit better. They have got some horrific results in there. A 3-1 battering versus Hibs. And of course, the biggest of the season. They got pumped 4-0 of Dundee United. So you can kind of see why I've said they're not exactly firing on all cylinders, because they'll have 1 or 2 good games where you think, right, they're going on a run, then they get slapped down to reality and they look absolutely awful and ordinary in the games. Guess which one I want to see tomorrow? Is it the good Aberdeen or the ordinary side that gets slapped? Answers are on a postcard. Are they even a thing these days? You can just take pictures. But regarding their shape and everything, like how do they line up, how do they go about their business under Jim Goodwin? Is it similar to what he had previously done at St Mirren, which obviously had great success both versus Rangers and Celtic? In a way it is, but Aberdeen so far this season are primarily lining up in a 4-2-3-1, which is allowing them to get the ball forward and allowing balls to come into the mixer with players actually there. It's not really as direct as it used to be over the last few years. Jim Goodwin is trying to instill some of that St Mirren football in to Aberdeen, and for me, again, when it's clicking, they look like a very, very dangerous side. And you'll go back to even when they played the other half of the Old Firm, for instance, in the first game. Started off horrifically, they conceded in the first couple of minutes. You think, oh, well, this is the usual Aberdeen job at Parkhead. But they actually continued to fight in there, and that was all down to the way Goodwin set them up and was aggressive. It wasn't the part the bus, let's just see what we can get or anything like that. No, they stuck to their game plan. They tried to play football, and they created several clear-cut opportunities, including a tap-in for Johnny Hayes that I'm pretty sure he was gutted that he missed a chance at Parkhead to equalise versus Celtic. I'm sure the boy was gutted he missed that tap-in. But all that aside, people, they showed they're well and truly able to fight and battle and create their own opportunities, which is why I think in this game, not only because of how we are playing right now, which is again horrendous style of football and our defence is held together by blue tack, pun included, but also the fact the way they're set up and how they go about their business, averaging 13 shots a game now, Aberdeen. So aye, it's been an interesting look into Aberdeen, because you build up something over the years how you expect them to play, and then you see them actually playing football and you go, oh right, so aye, anyone expecting the lump the ball, part the bus tactics, I don't think you're going to see that tomorrow. Might be wrong, but just based on what they've done this season and what they've done at Parkhead, they're trying to get the ball down and they're trying to hurt teams. Truthfully, that's all I've really got to say about this Aberdeen side. Again, making the right steps in the right direction under Goodwin, who taking everything out of it and everything. I think he's a very good manager and it's a good fit, and I think he will get them playing more consistent as time goes on. But aye, taking everything into consideration, there'll not be many more managers outside of the Celtic manager who'll be looking to put the final nail in Giovanni's coffin with a bad result tomorrow than a Jim Goodwin. So I am pretty damn sure we will see the very, very best of what Goodwin and Aberdeen can muster. Will we see the best of what Rangers and Giovanni can muster? That remains to be seen. But with that being said, that's the oppositional preview done and dusted. Let's go ahead and talk about the Rangers side. Because I'm not going to shock anyone, and I'm not going to surprise anyone by saying that this Rangers side is coming into this game versus Aberdeen looking as flat as the top of Paul from Tekken Free's hair. People, it is so hard to watch. It is so lethargic. It is so passive, and there's not much optimism going around. You probably feel like yourselves, even at your work, your college, when you're talking to your pal, there's no much optimism going around the place right now. And again, that's not on the fans to generate that. Sometimes the players and sometimes the manager has to give us just a little bit of an, just give us something that we can actually take and go and sing our songs and do our things. But we've not been getting that recently, as the performances continue to be the same poor standard. But as I said right at the start of today's video, something has to give, because to me I feel like this is all or nothing now for Giovanni, because midweek was what it was. Everyone was expecting us to beat, and for me that's pathetic that we went from a European final 6-7 months ago to going into another game in Europe thinking we're going to get absolutely slapped out the building. I'm not really happy with the standards and how far they've slipped in the defeatist mindset that's now been installed in this Rangers team and the fan base. But putting that to one side, you couldn't really go after him because everyone expected him to lose versus Napoli. But now this weekend, all eyes are on him. He made a lot of conversations and a lot of talking points talking about how they can't compete at the Champions League. Well, look at your finances compared to Aberdeen. We should be walking all over these teams in the SPFL. If that's his mindset with the Champions League, it needs to be his mindset in the SPFL. And for me, there is a lot of pressure on the Rangers team and Gio to perform, because I feel like if something doesn't happen tomorrow in terms of successful and positive and a good result, it is curtains. Which for me brings a couple of very interesting things to look out for in tomorrow's game, because I feel like Gio will feel the exact same way as we all feel, like there is a lot of pressure on this game to perform. So I think the starting 11 will tell you everything you need to know about where Rangers are right now, because Gio, I think, will pick the players that he trusts to fight and keep him in a job. So there might be some players you say, what's he picked again for? What's he picked again for? But I think it's because Giovanni trusts him to actually get over the line and keep him in a job. And that's where sometimes you've got to take your frustrations away from the manager, because for me, yes, he still has took us backwards. I think if you look at our physicality and you look at our fitness, it's simply a joke that we are. And the team that we've built, where we've not got much physicality, we're a very short side and everything like that, whilst we play in one of the most physically demanding leagues that there actually is. It's ludicrous when you put it on the table and you look at what we've allowed to actually happen. But even when you take all that frustration to one side, as a player, when you go over that white line, it's on you to step up, pull your socks up and do the frickin' job, people. So I'm saying Giovanni, and I hate having to say all this about Gio, because I actually really like him. I loved him as a player. I loved everything he'd done in his career. I loved him when he came. I was so excited, but it's just not working, right? But again, I'm looking at these players now to roll your socks up and perform and fight and outbeat and outrun the opposition, because you're not doing it. 4 kilometres less ran versus Napoli, 7 kilometres less versus Ajax. I'm not even wanting to look at the Liverpool game, right? But even this is happening now in the league, and some people might make excuses, say, well, the Champions League is this, look at the money they've got. If you want to say that, we didn't outrun fourth in the Championship Dundee, people. We didn't press fourth in the Championship Dundee. So these players need to give themselves a bit of a shake as well and show something the more night, because it's not all eyes on Gio, it's all eyes on these players as well that looks like they've chucked in the till under the previous manager. So I want to see a lot of things tomorrow, but what the minimum I want to see is actual work rate and commitment, because if you can't put that in the domestic league when we're only 4 points, I don't know how we're only 4 points behind, by the way, but we're only 4 points. If you can't give us what you can get, just sit on the bench or go in the stands, because you shouldn't be going out there in the park. If that's the maximum you can give us, it's nowhere near good enough. So shake it off, get outside your heat, go out there and perform, because we need the freaking points and we need a performance, and the manager needs one, or again, he's off ski. That's how I feel on that one. It needs to be a collective effort. I want to see some togetherness, not only on the part but off the part with the manager, and just show a wee bit of something, or again, changes will be made and messes will be made even worse in what is a very, very busy time at this football club where games are coming thick and fast. We can't really afford a big mess which this could potentially create. So go out there, get the job done, and that's my thoughts and opinions on that. But in saying that, am I expecting a revenge-driven, powerful, aggressive, spit in the Aberdeen's eyes, face type performance for Rangers? No, I'm not really, if I'm honest with you. I think those days are long gone in the life with Gerrard and Michael Beale, when we used to put pressure on and we really used to go after teams. That's not how we operate. That's not how we go about our business. It's a much more European style, as you're hearing these days and everything like that. So I'm expecting another frustrating, slow, passive evening. But again, even with that frustration that's going to bring, just get the job done and just winning. I guess if you want to use an old channel favourite line, it will be the classic grey hair Turner, because there is nothing that's suggesting to me from what I've seen in terms of all the other times we've been told there's going to be a reaction, or we're going to make changes, or we're going to do this, that there's nothing's happened. So I expect a grey hair Turner tomorrow, because that is what I am going in expecting. Would love to be wrong, and I'll be singing and dancing if it isn't, but I hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's sort of reached the end of the video, apart from, of course, the latest Rangers team news, where everyone else remains the same injury wise and everything like that, besides Kemar Roofe, who has picked up another injury, which is the same injury he had previously, and he's out now for a few weeks now. I don't know where to go with this one at all, people. Genuinely, I have absolutely no idea. This boy's came back for one game, saw the stand on me, like my legs there. That's what it feels like, but I know it's not, because again, he's a professional and everything. He's been very, very unlucky, but what a blow that is to even be losing Kemar Roofe. Not that I think the Gio would ever play him at the same time as the other strikers, but losing a player of his ability again for another long-term injury. Stuff needs to be looked into, the way we're going about our medical department, where we're doing training, man, because it's just not normal. We've had 747 injuries, and that's been in the last 12 seconds. I don't know what the number's up to right now. Could be 800, could be 900, could be 1012 by the time this video changes. And it's infuriating, ladies and gentlemen, but that is the latest team news. Everyone else is good to go. So now that we've given all the information, that's the news, that's the update, that's the Rangers conversation. What are you thinking ahead of what is a massive, massive game versus Aberdeen? And if you want to talk about fate, if you want to talk about ironic, it's been 4 years to the day since Sadiq dived versus Aberdeen. You're welcome for that. I'm going to go Rangers 2, Aberdeen 0. I think it's going to be very, very ugly, but I just hope we'll win it. It screams 1-0 to me, but I'll just be naive, ladies and gentlemen, because, as usual, I'll try to be overly optimistic, and that's embarrassing. I'm even something to say that, because remember we used to pump Aberdeen? That was good days and everything like that. But that's us, done and dusty. What you thinking? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on what is a massive game for the football club and massive game for Giovanni. Share your opinions. There's no one right or wrong. If you think I'm completely talking nonsense, make sure to be telling me. But as always, I've been Siege992. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow after the game. All the best, and bye-bye.